Guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today is part 22 and the end of 1 year of my weight loss journey. So stay tuned. So it is currently January 29th, which means this is the 1 year point from when I started this weight loss journey. And there have been a lot of ups. Well, one of my daughter's friends yesterday posted some pictures on her Facebook, and she posts these pictures every so often, and she's, I want to say like 20 or 21, something like that now, and is in the Navy, I believe. And that girl works out like crazy and has this just insane, like, she could kill somebody kind of body. Like, the girl is strong, and she's also got this itty bitty waist, and she looks just amazing. And I wrote her and I was like, girl, your body is insane. I need to get back to the gym. And we started talking, and well, she was very encouraging and gave me kind of the motivation to get back to it. Even though it hurts a lot, I'm having fun with it. I can tell a difference just looking at it from week 1, that it has gotten smaller. It doesn't quite look as round. It still looks round, but not as round. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling sore. I really hurt, like my legs stay in a constant state of pain. One thing I do want to say is I think I'm finally starting to see a difference in my face. Like, I was already able to see kind of a difference in my waist, but I think this is the first time I'm starting to see a little bit of a difference in my face, which I'm really excited about, because I hate this double chin thing I had going on and the chubby cheeks, and I'm glad that I feel like it seems like it's starting to slim down, and I like that. I'm getting a little bit of a muscle going here. No, it's not all just squish. I'm so happy. Like, yeah, I'm not losing huge amounts of weight, but I am shrinking like a lot. And yeah, it's because I'm gaining this muscle. I'm also really proud of myself because I have done well with doing all of, like, pretty much everything at home because of all the coronavirus and social distancing and all that. So I'm so proud of myself. It was a good week. I'm well on my way, and I feel like my arms, they're not as squishy as they were. I have a little bit of a muscle, not a lot, a little bit. My legs are more toned. My stomach is not as rounded. I mean, before it was out as far as my boobs, like the same measurements as my boobs almost. And I've also gained a lot of muscle. I'm definitely stronger. I'm definitely more toned, and I'm still excited about all of this and still very motivated, and I don't know, looking forward to continuing. Though at this point, I don't think there's a lot of fat on my arms. Like before, when my arm would lay down, it would be like, well, much more squishy. But now, I mean, I've got like tone and stuff. I have a little bit of muscle, not a lot of muscle, but a little bit. But yeah, there's much more tonedness to my arms now, which is really cool. My face is not nearly as round as it was when I began all of this. I don't have, maybe a tiniest bit of a double chin still, but really not compared to when I started all of this. I was actually going through some old pictures yesterday, and oh my gosh, I was just blown away by the difference in my face, by the difference in my arms. Like, putting my arms down before they were like this thick.
I've had some of you write me and send me pictures and stuff that you've also been doing a weight loss journey and you were inspired by me to do this, and you sent me pictures of your transformation and how amazing you're doing, and I am so happy, and I'm so happy that I could inspire you, and I'm so happy that my journey helped you start your journey.
And a lot of downs. So standing up in front of a camera and not sucking in is like a hard thing to do. Okay, so this is how people would normally see my stomach while I'm standing up. Like this. This is the profile. But this is me like sucking in and tightening my muscles here. Okay, so this is the profile that most people see. This is me not pushing out. This is me relaxed, and my stomach pokes out as far as my boobs. Oh my gosh. Move this towel. From the front, I look pregnant. I hate that. Like, I look like I'm like 7-8 months pregnant. Oh my gosh. And this is not me pushing my stomach out. Like, if I were to do that, it'd be like this. But no, this is just me. There have definitely been some hurdles I had to get through. Marty has like this rotating shift schedule, and when he works nights he tends to bring breakfast home for me and him because he gets home not too long after I've put Xander on the bus. So he'll bring us breakfast, and he usually stops at Hardee's or McDonald's, and he worked nights last night and he brought home breakfast this morning. I didn't tell him not to, so I wasn't even thinking about it, and then he showed up with McDonald's. And so I have, instead of my healthier breakfast that I intended on eating, I have a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and a fruit and yogurt parfait. So that's what I'm having for my after gym workout. But I'm just going to adjust my other meals accordingly. So, yeah. Oh, and I did tell him to stop doing that. Saturday started out great with doing my weigh-in and everything. And the first half of my day was good. And then my daughter came over and said some really not nice things to me and about me, and well, the rest of my day was pretty rotten, and I did backslide into my most comforting of comfort foods, and I ate a giant piece of chocolate cake with chocolate icing and milk. That was my dinner Saturday night. No actual food, just chocolate cake, and I watched it in front of Netflix, watching To All the Boys I've Loved Before, part 1 and part 2, and trying to make myself feel better. But on Sunday I was back on track, so I did good there. I did have a little slip, but I'm back on track. My legs are having a time with this running. Like, I did so good today. I was so proud of myself with the running. The fastest speed I got up to on the treadmill was 8.5, which is the fastest I've gone so far. However, there's this place on the front of both of my legs that is really hurting, and apparently I didn't give it enough time to recover. So Sunday, last Sunday when I weighed in at the end of part 3, I had only lost another 0.6 pounds, and I was like, okay, you know, at least I lost some. But I was really disappointed in how little I had lost. And I made the mistake of, I went to the gym and like killed myself at the gym. And I ended up hurting myself, which did the opposite of what I needed for the week, because I ended up having to kind of pull back for the rest of the week because of what I did on Sunday. So this week I didn't work nearly as hard as I had previously. Also, there's like this whole social distancing thing that everybody's supposed to be doing because of the coronavirus. So you know, limiting my time at the gym is probably not the worst idea in the world. I'm pretty much just doing all of my workouts at home. I actually changed my settings on the app to say I didn't have any equipment, so everything is stuff that I can do with just, I guess, things around me, or body weight, or like walking around the neighborhood, things like that. I'm in this place right now, this hurdle. It's this spot that has gotten me every time I've tried to do this. So before being pregnant with Becca, I was an itty bitty teeny tiny thing. And I gained a ridiculous amount of weight while I was pregnant with her. I went from being 98 pounds to being 172 pounds. And from that moment forward, I've struggled with my weight. And after she was born, it took me a little while before I started really working on losing weight. I think she was about 2 years old maybe when I finally started working on trying to lose weight. And I got down to around the 145 mark. And then I ended up pregnant again. So it was like, that was my low point. So 145, and then I went up to 172 with Xander. And then about 2 years after him, I started dieting and exercising and doing all the things that I'm doing now. And again, I got to around this 140s range, and just things reversed, and I ended up back in the 160s. And then 3 years ago, I started doing all this again, eating right, exercising, all this stuff. And again, I got down into the 140s range, and then we went on like a world tour and all kinds of stuff, and the weight went back up into the 160s, 170s where I started this time. So now I'm in that 140s range that just won't let go. And I part of me is trying to repeat everything that's happened and just go back doing what I've done, and I don't want to do that. And I want this time to be different. I want this time to stick, and I want to get out of these freaking 140s, because literally I haven't been below 140 since I was on my way up in weight being pregnant with Becca. So since I've been home, I've not done the greatest. I've had a little bit of a hard time with trying to adjust back to doing all of the things that I was doing before I went on vacation, and also eating the way I was eating before going on vacation, because when I was on vacation I ate everything. I had lots of really delicious, really bad for you food, but I was like, you know what, I'm on vacation, I'm going to enjoy myself. But coming off of that is hard. So I haven't done great with eating. I haven't done great with tracking my food. I started out like I was doing it, and then it just fell off. Really struggling with getting back into tracking my food like I was before. Also, I haven't exercised at all until today. I'm gonna go exercise as soon as I finish filming this. But yeah, I haven't exercised at all since I've been back home. I mean, yeah, it was fun eating whatever and stuff, but I'm hating the after effects. I'm hating the struggle to start all over. I hurt myself. I actually hurt my left foot. I was wearing sandals. I tripped on some concrete steps, and I'm not going to show you this because it's not cute, but the toe next to my big toe, I completely ripped the toenail off, and that was excruciatingly painful. And it was bloody and awful, and yeah. So I ripped that toenail off, and I cracked my big toenail, like at the very top of my toenail, like where it meets the end of my toe. It cracked in the middle, and it was just like a little short crack. And so I cut my toenail down as low as it would go, but the crack did go like past the skin. About the time that my other toe started to feel a little bit better, you know, I couldn't do anything. There was no exercising, there was no walking. It hurt a lot. But by the time that toe started to feel better, the crack on my big toe nail started catching everything, like my sheets and all of that stuff, and the crack kept getting longer and longer, and every time it was tearing the skin under my nail until it got about halfway down my toenail. And then one day it caught and ripped, and so it was like a quarter of my toenail got ripped off, but it was still attached on the side. And I was like, yeah, I've not been able to do a whole lot because my feet hurt. Even walking was difficult. And I mean, I had regular things that I had to do, but there was no exercising. Eventually I managed to get the rest of that quarter of the toenail off. That was a very painful event, but yeah, so now my toenail is like, okay, I'm no artist, but okay, so here is what toenail should look like, sorta, kinda. And so it cracked like that right there, and then that crack ended up going down to like there, and then when it ripped over like that. And so all of this of my toenail got ripped off. Not fun, not pleasant. This month has been difficult. Let me go through what I've gone through this month. So I've had a little bit of a medical issue for the past several months now, and I didn't really let it affect me as far as my diet and my exercise and all of that. It was more of an annoyance and something that shouldn't have been happening, but I just kind of, I don't know. I thought it would fix itself. I have an IUD, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's just this little device that's inserted to, you know, it's like birth control. And with that, I pretty much shouldn't have my monthly visitor. And my monthly visitor started arriving, and it was okay, you know, no big deal, that happens. But then it started becoming more and more often, and then it got to the point where it was every other week. And that's very much not supposed to happen. So I went to my doctor. Doc checked me out, and apparently, and I don't know if this happened because of all of my diet and exercise and everything, but my IUD moved a lot. And we're supposed to be at the top of this, where it's supposed to be. It was now at the bottom of that area, and
lodged into the wall and had to be removed and reinserted, and it was exceptionally painful. I was not great for a few days before. I was definitely not great for a few days afterwards. And during that time, I was not dieting or exercising because, well, I exercised before up to that date, but then after for a few days, I was like, no, I'm not exercising because I was in a lot of pain. And then that was actually at the very beginning of the month. Right after that, Xander had his fall break, and like literally the day or two after that, so I was still like not feeling great. And for his fall break, he was gonna go and spend that week with his grandparents. So we took him there, and while we were there, neither one of us were really worrying about like our calories, and I wasn't exercising and anything there. And that was all fine. We were just going there for the weekend and coming back. Once I got back home, my plan was to get back, you know, on track and everything because I was no longer hurting. So we came home on October 11th, and then on Monday the 12th, Mondays are typically my like off day anyway. So I went about doing my regular Monday stuff. I went and got a massage. I went and did grocery shopping and just other errands. And while I was like, after I got my groceries and I was loading them into the trunk of my car, so I'm putting the groceries in, and I stand up and I whack my head like right here on the latch from the trunk, and I'm like, ah, you know, that hurts, but nothing terrible. And then later the same day, I was going to this used bookstore called McKay's. I love McKay's. You could take books in and trade them in and get credit or money or whatever. And I was pulling them out of my trunk, and I hit my head again. And so I had this killer headache that day. Took stuff for it, ended up going to bed early, woke up the next day and was, you know, fine enough. And I did my exercise that day, and that day I had some other appointments. We have like a foundation / basement issue where we have cracks in our foundation of our new house, and we were getting people to come out and give like estimates on the repairs. And so that afternoon I'm showing this guy around the house, and we're discussing some of the issues. And we have like this big deck that's like multi-layered, and you can walk underneath the whole thing, but it's like rotted and in need of some serious repair. Anyway, we're walking around and discussing the thing, and we're underneath the porch and talking about something. And this is kind of funny, but also not funny. So we walk underneath this one part of the porch, and there's these wooden boards hanging down, and I literally tell the guy, because he went in first and then I followed, I said, when you come out of here, watch your head from these boards hanging down. 20 seconds later, I turn around and smack, and I hit the top of my head so insanely hard to the point like you see stars. It was bad, and like I was in really bad shape, and I had like massive headache all day. Nothing I took could help it. Went to bed early. And then Wednesday morning, I woke up and I was like, okay, I kind of felt like I wasn't really sure about the headache. I felt like I was on the verge of the headache, but I didn't want it to stop me from doing my workout. So I did go and I ran, and that was a terrible idea because I didn't realize it, but I had a bad concussion. And when I ran, I did bad things, and my body overheated, and it was 62 degrees outside when I was running, but it felt like when I stopped, it felt like I'd been running in 90-degree weather, and I couldn't cool down. I was so hot. Took a shower and couldn't cool down. Literally couldn't cool down the rest of the day. And Marty bought like a new thermometer that takes your temperature at the temple, and I had a fever. The next day, the fever didn't go away, and we ended up going to urgent care, and they determined that yes, I had a concussion, and it had caused me to have a neurogenic fever. And a neurogenic fever is like a fever in your brain or around your brain or something. It's not a regular fever. So you can take all of the fever reducing medications you want and it's going to do absolutely nothing for it. And you're going to feel just as crappy as if you have a regular fever. And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't be on my phone without it hurting my head. I couldn't be on my computer. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't walk. Like, after a few days, I think it was that Sunday, Marty and I tried this. Up until this point, I had gotten to where I was running and trying to complete 2 miles, and I had just gotten to where I couldn't run the entire 2 miles without like slowing down to walk. But my 2 miles was only like 22.5 minutes. Like, I was booking it and I was so proud of myself. And then all of this, and that Sunday, Marty and I tried to go on just a super short walk, like slow paced, down to our little, like the end of the little road here and back. And I couldn't make it the whole way. And my head started pounding. The fever was doing its thing. And when I got like that, I couldn't use words. Like my words were slurring. My brain was like mixing up words and I just couldn't think of the words. And it was so frustrating even trying to speak. It sucked, to say the least. And around that point, like, I was already not really doing the diet thing because I did it for like a couple of days, but then when I hurt myself, all I wanted was comfort food and chocolate, and that's what I did. And I was like, you know what? As soon as my head's better, I'll get back on track. But my head wasn't getting better. And the next week came around and it still wasn't better. And we had to go back to the doctor, and I still had the neurogenic fever, and that was like a red flag for them. Luckily, I didn't have any other like severe symptoms, I guess. It was just the speech and the fever. But they did order a CAT scan or a CT scan. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but they ordered that, and I went and got that the next day. And they confirmed that yes, it was a concussion, but there wasn't like major damage. And literally I just had to not do anything for a little while, which was so freaking hard for me. I can tell you that I kind of spiraled into a little bit of a depression for a little while because it was so aggravating to not be able to do the normal things that I wanted to be able to do. Oh, also, my oven broke. So I have no oven right now, except a toaster oven. And until yesterday, I had no microwave, because the way my oven is like, it's a microwave on top and then the oven, and it's all like one thing. And when one went, they both went. So we had no microwave and no oven. So there's also been fast food a lot, which we haven't really had fast food since beginning this whole thing, and there's been a lot of fast food. I had every intentions of getting back on track, and I thought, you know, it had been long enough that my head was better and I could work out, and regardless, I had every intentions of going back on like tracking my calories and all, like tracking my food and all that. And I did end up exercising a few times. I definitely have not gotten fully back on track. I tried exercising one day earlier in the month and discovered that my head was still not ready for that. I think I waited another like week and a half, 2 weeks, and tried again, and I did better then. I was able to actually go and work out, and I was trying to get back into my 5K training that I was doing prior to. And then there was Thanksgiving and family and all this stuff, and there was so much food at Thanksgiving, and I ate so much food and pies.
And some major achievements that I was able to achieve. So my weight is currently 167.8, meaning I lost another 2.2 pounds, giving me a total of 5 pounds even total loss. Cool. I lost an inch off my boobs. I'm at 41 now. And now it's 37.5. I lost another inch from my waist. Sweet. So this week I lost another 2 pounds, which brings me down to a total of 11.6 pounds down, which is pretty awesome. I lost an inch on my neck. That's awesome. So this week I lost less than a pound again. I've lost 0.8, but still that's not bad considering how my week went. So I'm proud of myself. And I'm also happy that I'm down in the 150s now. Granted, that's barely into the 150s, but I am in the 150s. So yay for that. So I am currently at 159.8 pounds. Yeah! I went over the 15-pound mark that I've lost. I lost 2.8 pounds this week for a total of 15.8 pounds. By losing this 2.8 pounds, it puts me over the 20-pound mark total. I've now lost a total of 21.4 pounds in less than 3 months. Oh, here's how my profile is looking. I've definitely shrunk here. Okay, my waist is now at 34, which means I lost another 1.25 inches on my waist. What? That's awesome. I'm excited about that one. I want to just look at the difference in my waist overall since I started this on January 29th. When I started, my waist was 39.25, and now it's now it's 34, which means I've lost 5.25 inches on my waist. I also don't look pregnant anymore, which is awesome. Like 3 years ago, I kind of started a weight loss journey, and I wasn't filming it or anything like that. It was actually before I ever started my channel. I had started it at the first of the year, and I went until around this time. And when I started it, I started 10 pounds lighter than I started this time. And around this point in my weight loss journey, then I had reached about the point that I was last week. So I've now exceeded, and I'm now lighter than I have been in 3 years, which is pretty awesome. And I lose just a few more pounds and I will be as light as I've been in almost 15 years. Wow. And in 13 weeks, I've lost 25.6 pounds. That's a lot. And I have less than that to go to reach my goal. So, okay. So on my bust, I've lost 2 3/4 inches. My left arm, I've lost 1.25 inches. My right arm, I've lost 1.5 inches. My waist, I have lost 6 inches. 6 inches. My hips, I've lost 3 inches. My left thigh, I've lost 1.5 inches. My right thigh, I've lost 1.5 inches. And I didn't start measuring my neck until 11 weeks ago, but in that time, I've lost 1.5 inches on my neck. I also think I'm very much losing the double chin I had going on. I think maybe it's still there a little bit, but not nearly as much. It is now 32.25, so I lost another inch on my waist. Your girl is out of the 140s. I'm so happy. There are some things that I am so proud of myself for, that I was able to push my body to.
And I don't even need to be the greatest or the fastest or the latest or the saddest or the baddest or the craziest.
Okay. 1 minute wall sit. Go all up further. Press your glutes against the wall. Drive your feet into the earth. There we go. This may look easy, ladies and gentlemen, but it is not. Let's go a little further.
So is it a 1 minute or 2 minute?
2 minute total. 1 minute body weight, 1 minute with weights.
Okay.
All right.
You're gonna make me fall.
Don't stop. So now we gotta hold these. Down your side. That's it. And in 10 seconds, I'm gonna grab those and I'm gonna give you a little heavier ones. Go on. 10 more seconds. Hold, then drop to the ground. 10 more seconds.
3, 2, 1. Ugh. Ugh.
No rest.
All right.
50 lunges. All right, girl, come on. No rest. Let's go. All the way. Yep. Let's do 3, 4.
22, 23, 24, 25,
Halfway.
26, 27, 28, 29,
Come on.
30.
Keep pushing. Let's go a little faster. Come on, come on, fast. Yeah. Come on, don't stop. I'll let you stay there for 3s. Come on, all the way. 30 more seconds. Faster. Come on, girl. You're on camera. Come on, wider circles, wide.
Now I'm going. Oh, God. My arms don't like it.
Chop, chop. No one likes it. If the body loved it, everyone would be like ripped. Come on. 10 more seconds. Come on, knock it out. 10 more seconds. Come on, girl. All right, 15 push-ups. 15 push-ups. No rest.
Okay. You want to angle it?
Yes, ma'am. No rest, ladies and gentlemen. No rest. There you go. 2, 3, 15 full burpees. So that's gonna be the jump, the land, the push-up.
Are you ready?
We're ready, girl. There it is. Come on. That's 1. That's 2. This will be 12. It's real, folks. It's real. The pain is real. 13. Think about how many people are not doing this right now. Look, it's real. Now let's go. Let's bring it a little closer because I gotta ask you a question. I gotta tell you something. How did that feel?
I'm dying.
You're dying? Guess what?
What?
Well, when I drew the name out or whatever, it's gonna end up being 15 more burpees.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay. Then we're done?
We're done.
Awesome. My arm's about to fall off.
It's real, folks.
Oh gosh, that was hard. I can't even fan myself. My arms are that tired. Your hand's doing nothing. All right.
Okay, folks.
I'm not ready, but okay.
Yep, 15 more of what you just did.
Nope.
She said no.
My legs said no. Come on, legs.
Come on, legs. You got 15 more.
Oh. My legs are not ready to stand up.
Give you 20 more seconds.
My legs are just jello now.
Is she ready?
I don't know.
All right. This is going to be super brutal. You know my style, I like to be brutal at the end. She's stalling, people.
Oh, wait for you to put the camera ready.
The camera's ready.
Oh, okay, now I'm solid. Alright.
Remember, pain is pleasure. Pain is pleasure. 1. There we go. 2. This is our training method. Boom. That's it. Tell the folks, let's look at the camera. As my DI would say, get your head up. How you feel? Can't talk. Girl, you give me corona. I guess.
Oh, seat. Okay.
Does that feel good?
Uh-huh. I'm dying.
Are you destroyed?
Yep. My legs definitely. Oh. I'm hot.
Everyone wants to know why you come to do this. Why do you enjoy this?
To get fit, to lose weight, to be healthy. Yeah.
My God, you've done that, I'll tell you that.
I'm only about halfway where I want to be.
Well, that should be a motivator to go the rest of the way.
Oh yeah. I'm dying.
All right. Good job.
Thank you. And to get to those goals of getting below 140, but there are definitely some things that I have really disappointed myself in. So this week I gained another 0.6 pounds. And I'm pretty sure I know what did it. Cake is my kryptonite. Yeah, I have a problem with cake. This last week and this week are probably the 2 hardest weeks, especially because they're back to back. Last week was my birthday. This week was Becca's birthday. And there was a second cake. overall for the month, things have gone down, and that's a good thing. However, when I look at the overall picture for the month, with all the ups and downs with the weight that I've had this month, I'm not entirely happy with how I've done overall for the month, because on May 3rd when I weighed, and this was before my 2 weeks of going up, and then last week losing a lot, and this week losing a little. On May 3rd, I was 147.2. So overall for the entire month, I've only lost 1.2 for the entire month. I very much disappointed myself since being home. I learned a very important lesson. Before I went on vacation, I was doing so good. I had a little slip around birthdays in May, but other than that, I've been doing so good. And literally got down to exactly 140 before my trip. And then while I was on my trip, I pretty much threw everything out the window. I went with the intention of I wasn't going to do that. I was going to, still eat decent, but I wasn't gonna go crazy, but I wasn't going to stop myself from eating things that I wanted to eat. And I figured I'd still do exercise. I went there with the intentions of doing all that, but then it all kind of flew out the window really, really quickly, and that was a mistake. And while I was there, I pretty much ate anything and everything I wanted, and I didn't really do any of my normal exercises. I was like, well, I am getting some walking done, I'm whitewater rafting, I did a little hiking, but nothing nearly as close, I think, as what I was doing on a regular basis. And then my thought was, you know what, it's fine, I'm on vacation, I'm going to enjoy myself, and as soon as I get home, I'm gonna go right back into what I was doing and how I was eating, and it'll all go away really fast. And had I done that, that probably would have been the case. But I spent all that time on vacation not eating right. I wasn't doing the fasting thing, so I was pretty much eating from the time I got up to the time I went to bed, and not exercising. So when I came home, it was really hard, and my body and my brain and everything got used to eat from the time I get up to eat to the time, eat all the way until I go to bed. And so eating right was much harder because I was wanting to eat all day long, and I was wanting to eat all of the bad things for me. And Xander had come home, and his grandparents had got him all kinds of, bought cookies and all kinds of other stuff, and so the house was full of junk food. And it wasn't like, I didn't come home to having nothing but healthy options. I came home to having lots of junk options as well as healthy options, but my brain was on the junk train, and that's what I wanted, and I wanted to eat all the time. And so I really, really struggled. For the first few days, I didn't exercise at all, and I was like, okay, Monday was is normally my off day, so I was like, okay, Tuesday, I'm gonna get back into everything I'm supposed to do and try to reset. And Tuesday and Wednesday, I did exercise, but life has also been super hectic since I've gotten home. There's been a million things that had to get done, and I didn't prioritize my working out like I was doing before. So my working out only happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I didn't do the rest of the week. And then there were days that I was doing good with my food for the bigger part of the day, and then I would fail at the end of the day. So I've set myself back 2 months, and I'm really, really disappointed in myself, because this is totally what I've done in the past,
and why I've gotten stuck in those 140s. Because literally, I got down to 140 before my trip. Like exactly 140. And now I've gone backwards so much. I've learned I seem to have like no self-control or whatever when it comes to eating while traveling. Whether it be long road trips or, you know, eating while I'm at my mom's house and all the food she cooks. There was pizza, there were burgers, there was barbecue, there was birthday cake. Yeah, so I didn't eat well, and I also didn't exercise the entire time I was there. So I've bounced back up a little bit. I did not do well as far as dieting and exercising through the holidays. I haven't done well with any of that since getting hurt back in October, and then holidays. And I started out this year so good. Like, I started my weight loss journey on January 29th, and I did so good. I had a little bit of ups and downs throughout, but for the most part, I was doing so good. And back in October, before I got hurt, I had gotten down to like 138. And then October happened, and I'd gone up some. November happened, I went up some more. I ended November weighing 156.4. I failed so spectacularly these last few months over the holidays and everything. And I feel like, oh, getting emotional. I feel like I've let everybody down that watches these videos. I've let myself down. I know I've let myself down, but I feel like I've let you guys down too.
And I guess that's why this is called a weight loss journey. My goal was to lose weight, and I have over this year. I have not lost the amount of weight that I wanted to. Unfortunately, I'm not still below 140, as you'll soon see. And well, as you saw over the past couple of months, I went back up. But overall, throughout this entire thing, I have lost weight. Well, let's just look back at how my scale's gone through this year. $172.8. Wow.
Yeah, I ate really bad this week. But it was because it was my birthday. But it's very much reflected on the scale this week, unfortunately. So here was my weigh-in. I did get on the scale yesterday, and it had gone down some, which I was expecting it to, you know, drop a bit because of like water retention and stuff from being on the plane and all of that. So as of yesterday, it was 145.2. And when I got on the scale this morning, it was 146.6. I weighed myself on November 8th and I was at 150.8. Sunday, November 15th, I was down to 149.6. And then a Monday, November 30th, this was following all of the holiday food, I was back up to 156.4. So that's where I'm at now. On December 6th, I weighed 157. On December 16th, I still weighed 157. And on December 31st, I weighed 163.2. So throughout the entire year, I've lost quite a bit and I've gained quite a bit. I've gone up and down and up and down. And by the end, I am down. Not down nearly as much as I was, or down nearly as much as I would have liked. But overall, I am down 9.6 pounds.
So this morning, I went ahead and I did my weigh-in. So let me go ahead and show you that now. So at the end of this 1 year of weight loss journey, I am down to 161.2 pounds, which means I have lost a total throughout this entire year of only 11.6 pounds. But even though I say only 11.6 pounds, I still lost. I lost almost 12 pounds. It's not a huge amount, but it is about on average a pound a month. It's a very slow weight loss, but as I have seen throughout this year, I can do it. I can push myself. I can eat better. I've also seen I can easily bounce back to what I was doing by holidays and injuries and all of that. And moving forward, I want to take the information that I've learned from this year and help me do better next year. And I'm not going to continue doing these weight loss journeys on so often a basis. I may do like a 6 months from now check-in and show you how I've done. But I thought today, to end this 1 year, I would weigh in and I would also take my measurements and compare them to how they were at the beginning of the year. I don't know if much will have changed because I did go back up some, but there is still about a 12-pound difference. And I know that I did work out a lot, so I did gain a lot of muscle throughout this year. So we'll see. The last time I did any measurements was on September 20th. And at that point I weighed 139.4 pounds. So that was one of my lowest points in my weight. And I have since gone up significantly since then. But I'm going to compare, I think I want to compare where I started the year at and where I am now to where I was in September. And kind of see maybe a difference in how my body has transformed. Okay. So let me move my camera around so that you can see more of me. Okay, for the life of me, I can't remember how I had my camera set up in order to do measurements and see more of me. So this is what we're getting for right now, and I'll just shift the camera down. So on January 29th of 2020, my bust was 42 inches. Now in September, it was 37.75. So let's see where it is now. Okay, it looks like it is 39.5 now. So down from a year ago, but up from September. Okay, so one of the measurements that I didn't do at the beginning of this was my neck. So I'm going to find the first time that I did measure that. Though at that point I knew it had already shrunk some. It was a couple of weeks in. I had lost maybe 6 pounds, something like that, 5 or 6 pounds. And my neck was at 15.75. So that was February 16th. And then in September, my neck was 13.5. So let's see what my neck is now. I have to look at the mirror to make sure I'm doing this straight. Okay, so in the end, my neck is 14.5. So it is still down 1¼ inches, I think it was, from February, but up 1 inch from what it was in September. Okay, next up we had my arms. So on January 29th, my left arm was 13.75. In September, it was 11.75. So it had only shrunk 2 inches. Though, I mean, that's a lot for an arm, I think. But also, I gained a lot of muscle in this arm over that time. So my arm was looking way more toned in September. Okay, so let's measure the left arm. So every time I've tried to measure like the widest part of my arm when it's laying down. Also, measuring your arm is really hard. I've struggled with this the entire time. Okay, so at this point my arm is 13.5 and I can tell that it's not nearly as toned as it was. It's more squishy. It's a little closer to what it was in the beginning. But I mean, I definitely have, like, you can see this is some muscle right here. But yeah, I still got more squish than I had in September. But that's down 1/4 inch from where it started. Okay, right arm. January 29th, it was 14.25. September, it was 11.75. Let's see what it is now. Okay, it looks like my right arm is at 14, which is, I think, also down 1/4 inch. Yeah. Okay, next was my waist at my belly button. So on January 29th last year, I was at 39.25. In September, I was at 31.75. So I lost quite a lot on my waist. And I know my waist has gotten so much bigger since then. So let's see what it is now. Okay, so at this point, I am at, I don't know if you can see this, 35.5. So I still did lose a good chunk on my waist. So about 4 inches from where I started. And that's about 4 inches up from where I was in September. Okay, now I need to shift the camera down so we can do the hips and thighs. Hold on. Okay, so back in January of 2020, my hips/butt was at 42. And in September, it was at 38. So if I'm just going to guess at this point, I'm going to guess 40. So let me measure that. Nope, it is 41. So in January of 2020, my left thigh started out at 24 inches. In September, it had gotten down to 21.25. So let's see where it's at now. Just like with my arm, I do it around the widest part. It looks like 23.5, which means I lost 1/2 inch on that thigh. My right thigh started out at 24.25. So my right thigh has pretty much stayed consistently a little bit bigger than my left thigh. In September, it was at 21.75, so it was like half an inch bigger than my left. Don't know why, but let's see where it is now. If I had to guess, I'm gonna guess it's around either 23.75 or 24. And it is 23.75, which means I also lost half an inch from that. So, not bad. All in all, this has been a weight loss journey. It has not been a weight loss quick fix. It's been a year of struggling up and down. I am happy that I, at the end of all of this, have ended up down, and I'm at the same time disappointed that I let myself go back up as much as I did, and I'm disappointed that I didn't end up more down, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep working. I'm eventually going to get to my goal. It's just going to take me longer, and it's going to be a journey. I'm going to continue on this journey. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos by me, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!